Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. A well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's what the Second Amendment says. And that is what our founding fathers put down to prohibit the government, to put it in a cage that it shall not infringe upon your natural rights. Because, as the Declaration of Independence so eloquently put, these are laws of nature and of nature's God, and that we would have a government that's instituted amongst men, and that the only reason this government would exist is to protect your natural or God-given rights. And when the government becomes against those ends, when the government tries to take your rights, that it's not only your right, but your duty to abolish said government. That's not me saying that. I'm just loosely paraphrasing what the founding fathers said. A well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. See, we kind of take those words for granted and we say, well, that means we're allowed to own guns. That gives us the right to own guns. It actually doesn't. It says the right to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say the government of the United States of the First Continental Congress or of 1791 grants you those rights. And that's very important. And that actually has everything to do with what's going on right now. It's a prohibition on government. It says shall not be infringed. It doesn't give you anything. It just simply acknowledges something that you've always had and that you always will have. And it prohibits the government from even thinking about moving even 1 inch, even 1 scintilla, because infringement is a very, very specific word. You don't have to infringe like a mile. You don't have to infringe a half mile. You don't have to infringe an inch. Like, we, for some reason, like to parse things out and say, well, hold on a minute. That wasn't that bad. This isn't that bad. There's a way around it, but that's actually not what the founding fathers were protecting us against. It doesn't say a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be taken away wholly. It doesn't say that you can't take more than 10%. You can't take more than 30, 50%. It doesn't say that at all. Shall not be infringed, which literally means, I'll use the word scintilla, but if you can think of a measurement that's actually smaller than that, they're not allowed to infringe that much either. They're not allowed to infringe at all. And why is that? Well, it's obvious. We're all endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And these are literally beautiful things, and everybody knows if you have those and many other things that are also granted to you by your Creator, that's really all you would need. Until a long train of usurpations and a government, which we're well along that train right now, comes in and says, no, I don't think so. We're going to infringe. We're not just going to infringe a little, but we're going to infringe a lot. And that's what's continuing to go on right now, literally. Now, why should it not be infringed? Well, like I said, is necessary for the security of a free state. That's very, very important. You want to be secure, don't you? I know I do. And you want to be free, right? These are ideals. This is what makes America America. And this is what makes America different than other countries. Because I'm sure all of you know this, but we need to remind ourselves, all countries don't have a Bill of Rights. They actually don't. They have things that the government deems as privileges, that at the government's whim, people will be allowed to freely exercise certain things, or in many cases, they're not allowed to exercise at all. And in most countries in the world, people aren't allowed to own guns for many and most purposes. And if they are, it's so restricted, it's certainly not a free exercise thereof. It's not freedom. And the United States is supposed to be different than that. And we need to really think about what's going on here. And we really need to think about this former vice president. You know, like we say here, the former vice president. People often ask me, 2Hey EDU, why do you call him the former vice president? Well, that's simple. Because he is the former vice president. That's literally the answer. He's not going to stop until either we the people stop him, or else he's going to try to take all of our guns. Literally, I'm not being hyperbolic. It's completely obvious. You listen to him when he was running for office, when he was a senator, when the former vice president was the vice president. He literally said, yeah, if it's this, I'm going to take it. You don't need this. You don't need that. He's talking about how he's coming for 9mm. And he just banned with the stroke of a pen the Russian ammunition. Now, there might be some things that people are shedding light on, that there's some bright sides to it, and I'll probably talk about those a little bit if I get time tonight. But here's what the principle at stake is here. Russia, okay, less than 1% of their GDP is Russian ammo. Less than 1%. Meanwhile, that pipeline that the former vice president and family are working with Russia on, their natural resources account for the vast majority of their income, their gross domestic product, their exports. So it's like, okay, you're going to take a penny away from him, from the ammo, Putin, and then give him $1 billion and access to sell their energy. Now, those aren't exact numbers, but I'm probably exaggerating because it's probably a bigger spread than that when you look at the value of their energy versus the value of their ammo exports. So make no mistake, I just want to be frank about it one more time. No, they were not punishing Russia with this executive order to ban the ammo. They're punishing you. Meanwhile, over the last couple of weeks now developing, we're now getting numbers and stats of all of the things that apparently the United States' new ally, the Taliban, the people that brave souls have given their lives for in the last 20 years. And even those of you that survived, because no doubt there's veterans watching this right now that fought in many foreign wars, probably even somebody watching right now that served in Afghanistan, that at the very least was separated away from their family, had to go through a lot of mental and physical stress and anguish. Like, who really, unless they have a greater purpose, which I suppose that's why you people that serve do that. And that's why it's called service. You're being a public servant. You're serving your country when you do that. Who wants to be out there in the 120-degree desert with people that chant death to America and don't want you there? Like, literally. But you're there because you're doing your duty, you're following your orders, and you're just trying to hope in the bigger picture that it's going to help keep America more free. Now, at the same time that the former vice president is trying to literally take your guns, your ammo, they want them all gone. He's even talking about trying to sign on to international gun control again, okay? He's literally not going to stop. I'm not joking, guys. This isn't going to stop until people just say, no, I will not comply, or they say enough's enough, or many other options out there. I can't think of every possible solution, but there's a lot of things going on right now. And he gave, some figures say it's 80 billion, and then someone will argue back, no, it was only 40 billion. Look, at the end of the day, there's thousands of M4 rifles, up-armored Humvees, huge aircraft, down to choppers, crew-served machine guns, all these things that you can't have. Unless you're extremely wealthy in this country, then you can, if you're able to buy pre-86 ban and this and that. Look, all of this stuff only affects the poor people and the working people, and that's how this has always been. This is how oligarchs work. If you're rich, wealthy, well-connected, you're going to live better and better. The more the peasants keep getting the jackboot of the government on their neck. And I doubt there's many oligarchs watching this right now. And if some of you are well-to-do that's watching, good for you. That's fine with me. But at the same time, they just keep getting richer and richer and more powerful. Meanwhile, they just keep trying to deprive regular people like you and me of tools that are necessary for the security of a free state. So when I watch him sitting there trying to take away our arms, trying to take away our ammunition, and it's blatantly obvious, like he said, I'm going to do this if you elect me. Now, according to the New York Times, okay, or Time Magazine, rather, Time Magazine, Susan Wiki, I'm citing my sources here. This is YouTube approved. The most fortified of all time. And then boom, there we go. We have this man, this old man in there that said, I will take your guns. And he wasn't joking, was he? Now, why is that? Why does he want to give the Taliban $80 billion in arms that you can't legally own, asterisks, unless you're wealthy, while trying to take away your low-cost ammunition and your firearms? Is it because the Taliban's the enemy of the United States? I mean, that's what I've been told for the last 20 years. We've been fighting them tooth and nail, right? A lot of sacrifice, a lot of loss of life, very fine lives. They were the enemy. Duh, of course. You're out there shooting guns at your enemy. Are they the real enemy because he just gave them $80 billion in arms? Or are you the enemy because he just got done banning the cheapest ammo in this country away from you? And I want you guys to think about that and what's really, really going on here. And in my opinion, this is very evil. And these are very evil people. And this is a battle of good versus evil. And we have to prevail because evil always has prevailed and always will prevail when good men do nothing. So I'm going to talk about ammunition. I'm going to try to answer some questions because we need to be educated. We need to be well regulated. We need to still keep practicing. We need to still be, say, familiar with our rifles because shooting is a highly, highly perishable skill. I was talking to my friend Mac Shot on the phone earlier today, and we got to talking about ammo and shooting. And he goes, yeah, not to mention, shooting's a very perishable skill. And I said, that's true. So we need to keep shooting. Okay, we can't just be out there. Okay, it's my time for us to meet up in town square. We need the Kentucky militia to meet in Ohio, and the Ohio, Michigan, and Kentucky militias meet up. That's like literally what founded this country. Don't forget that. But I haven't shot in 5 years. I don't even remember how to hold my rifle up. We can't do that. Now, meanwhile, a lot of us are broke and can't afford to buy tons of ammo. So I'm going to do a couple things tonight. I'm going to talk about the Russian ammo ban, a few more details with that. Maybe some alternatives and different types of ammo that we can use that's still way too much money, but maybe a little cheaper than other sources. I'm also going to answer some questions about steel case versus brass because people are asking me and people need to know. Look, we need to worry about and focus our efforts on this former vice president and all this evil around us, not be wondering and stressing out of what type of ammo will my gun take? What can I? Look, I'll try to help you guys with as much information as I can because we need to stick together. It's literally like we the people, us versus them. And I'm going to try to help you guys as much as I can. Am I an ammo expert? No. Will I be able to help people that don't know as much as me? Certainly. So there you go. Zach Carr with the super chat and a channel member. Thanks a lot, man. He says, IU. What's happening, man? Nice to see you, Zach. And I'm waiting patiently. He's working on some really cool things that I'm going to be able to share with you guys soon. And hey, I'm having him work on some more patches, and a lot of them I'm going to be giving away to many of you guys. Big B84, channel member, and a super chat. Thanks a lot, man. He's been hanging out over in our local group. Hey, I just want to thank all the channel members. I really appreciate you guys, all the Patreon supporters, all of you guys that have recently come over to locals. The members over there, the supporters, I've been having a great, great time. We're on locals. I've been there for a month. I'm creating content. You all are creating content. Last Friday, I did a stream right afterwards. It was a little late for some of you. So tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be doing an exclusive stream over on Locals where we can touch whatever we want. It's a totally different platform. So we're going to be over there tomorrow night. I'm not going to do it afterwards tonight just because it got a little late for some of you guys. So there you go. Shout out to Lee Sandrock. Just became a channel member. Thanks, man. And I know a couple of you guys became Patreon supporters tonight and channel members, and I really appreciate you guys. Here's the other thing with locals. There's certain things over there that I can share that's perfectly fine there, but I can't share other places. Right, Susan Wiki? So here we're abiding by all the YouTube rules, even when we do abide by. We've had stuff nuked in the past and things happen, but we're here and this is where we're at, and I like hanging out with you guys. But consider locals to be exclusive bonus content, and I'm not taking stuff from you guys here. I want to make that clear because I get a lot of questions about this. There's stuff there that I'm doing while on live streams and other posts that I just simply can't do and I can never do here. So there you guys go. And I see a lot of you guys that are over there having a good time creating great content, and it's a good time. Rainy Day 44-124 with a super chat. Thanks a lot, man. 762. Yeah, guys. Con block shooters. 762 by 39, especially 545 by 39. 9 Makarov. 762 by 54R to an extent. We're going to be hurting here in the future. It's going to suck. Is it over? No. We're still going to be able to get ammo from places. Well, except for 545. Probably not that, but 762 by 39, we're still going to be able to get that. He says, now 5 rounds of 762 by 39 cost the same as a gallon of former VP gasoline. Guys, I've owned this landscape business for a lot of years. That's why I was late again tonight. I usually am. I work by myself, and I'm cutting right up till dark, get the flashlight out, blow the clippings off the mower. You can't let them cake up in the deck or it rusts your deck out. You'll burn up a belt. You guys get it. If you're not in the business, you cut your grass at home, you know. And I'm usually blowing it out, putting my tailgate up in the dark and rushing back to the shop here. I use a lot of gas. I can remember when the former VP was the former vice president. $4.50, $5 a gallon. And I've watched it go up just in the last few months here. $1, now $1.50 a gallon. So yeah. And that's what sucks, guys. Right as ammunition's going up in price, and we need ammunition. I put ammunition right up there, probably as a higher level commodity than driving. Now, should we be able to drive? Of course, and drive to the range and all of these things. Liberty means like so many things. We couldn't possibly enunciate all of them in just like a short stream, right? So, of course, it includes driving, but it especially includes the right to keep and bear arms. And I don't know, guys, call me old-fashioned, make fun of me, but I don't think you guys will. I think a bunch of you are actually going to agree with me if I had this choice, and I never want to have this choice where, let's see here. Do I have to give up my vehicle and my tank of gas or my main go-to rifle and several magazines worth of ammunition? I'm probably going to take the gun and the ammunition, to be honest with you. But we want to have both, and we need to still be able to do normal things like drive around and, live like, we need to drive. It's fine. I have no problem driving. I drive many vehicles. The reason I have a bunch of trucks is they're all really old work trucks, and if one breaks down, I hop in the other one, and then I fix it when I get a chance. Do any of you guys use that strategy, by the way? You can't afford the brand new $800 a month truck with the $500 insurance, so you've got a few paid off beaters, and they usually run good because I have some old Chevys, and nothing runs like an old 350 gas Chevy. Trust me, guys. I have Fords too, and nothing runs like an old 7.3 Power Stroke that's in my 2000 Ford F350 dump truck. But from time to time, this and that happens. So you just hop in the other truck till you can fix it. Well, gas is going up, everything's going up, and it's getting more and more difficult to buy ammunition. Right when we're watching literally our whole country like fall apart before our eyes, and we need to be well-trained, well-regulated militia. That's what the founding fathers said. We need to be more well-trained and at the ready than we've ever been, like in probably the whole history of this country. Meanwhile, it's getting tougher and tougher. So not only am I going to talk about ammo, but I'm going to show you guys a couple other things in this stream. You guys are going to actually see the products for the first time here in a few minutes, where you can actually do quite a bit of practice without using any ammunition at all. And I think that'll help you guys. And I'm hoping that not just the people that are watching here, but if you get any good ideas from the stream tonight, you can like pass it on to your friends and stuff. Because, gosh, so many of you guys are awesome people. I read all the chats. I read the chats last week. And can I say this without sounding too corny? You guys are seriously like beautiful people. And I care about you guys. And that's why I'm on here again. And man, we can't let good people constantly be getting the raw end of the stick. We've got to figure something out. And I know you guys have very fine people that you're friends with, and you need to pass on the message of freedom and call out the former vice president when he needs called out, and cite the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, because people need encouragement right now. And literally, that's what encourages me in life. Two things: good people like you all, and then these founding documents. And that's what keeps me going. And don't take your friends for granted. They might need a little pep talk. They might need a shoulder to lean on. They might need you to take them to the range. And as expensive as it is, some of them might need you to give them a couple boxes of ammo. And if you can do it, you probably should, because a lot of your friends need you right now. A lot of people aren't doing so good. So just keep that in mind, And your friends will really appreciate it. And here's the awesome thing in life. I don't mean a quid pro quo, like I'll give you these 3 boxes of ammo, but no, just take your friend out, give them a few boxes of ammo if you can. The fellowship, the friendship is awesome, but we need as many people fighting the good fight as possible, as many good people. And you never know, your car might break down, and your friend that was broke as a joke that you gave $50 in ammo to, he might help you fix your car in a month, because everybody has a skill, right? And he might save you a $200 auto bill. People will take care of you if you take care of them. And I just wanted to re-encourage all you guys to do that, and thank all of you who encourage me. Gregory, De Giovanni with the super chat 556. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. He says an armed society is a polite society. And you know what? That's one we should often repeat too, because I think that's actually very true. It is. Are people going to not break into somebody's house because they're a good person? No, because if they want to break in your house and steal your stuff or harm you and your loved ones, of course they're not a good person. Just remember, this is a battle of good versus evil. There's very, very good people out there. And there's also, unfortunately, very evil people out there. No, a lot of times they won't break in your house because they're afraid to get shot. And that's what makes America where a lot of people second guess, don't they? And the places with the most gun restrictions and the most gun control often have the most violence, don't they? I think that goes on to what Gregory was just saying. Rudy Finney, a good old boy from Michigan. Look at them nice Jeeps. What's happening, dude? Became a channel member, and he's a longtime supporter of the channel, friend of the channel. Really nice to see you, Rudy. I appreciate you, dude. I really do. Curtis Reynolds, man, another very generous super chat. Thanks so much, dude. I really do appreciate it. And I know I saw Chuck R earlier being like, I'm waiting on the PSA AK, the new Romanian kit builds, before he gets one. Your contributions do help out the channel, all of you guys. And I've got one on the way. I've got one on the way that I bought. So I have some cool stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys soon. He says, what's up, 2A EDU? Here's a little 2 for the 2A. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. And again, just you guys' kind words. Look, the super chats pop up on my channel. Those are the ones I primarily read, but I read all of your comments. And whether it's a donation of money, which helps out because there's logistics, or just your kind words of support, those mean a lot for me too. They really do. And I appreciate you guys. VA Wolf, another guy that I really appreciate. He's in Virginia, guys. Shout out to all the people in Virginia. You guys need to fight like hell in Virginia. You know, Virginia was a pro-gun state for the longest time. Nowadays, not so much. They're turning the tide, but due to people like VA Wolf and the VCDL and Gun Owners of America and people like John Crump and all these people that are in Virginia, okay? My man, VA Wolf right here, due to people like him and many, many others, okay? They've been fighting like crazy down there, and things could be a lot worse in Virginia than they are now. So bless all of you guys in Virginia. You know, everybody likes the headlines, but I've reported on things that happened in Virginia a year, 2 years ago, and I've not stopped thinking about you guys for even 1 minute. And you guys need to not stop fighting for even 1 minute, because we just can't lose all these states. We lose all the states, then what do we have left? I have no faith anymore of a consolidated federal government, just to be honest, guys. But I think with these states, if we can still keep fighting it on the state and local level, there's probably a chance, okay? In some states, it's going to be really, really tough. I get it, guys. But in most states, there's still a chance. He says, hey, 2A EDU and all, we must remain vigilant always. I agree. I agree, man. Very well spoken. So you guys are looking. JDV3, he says, great advice. Well, I don't know if he's talking to one of the super chats or me, because I'm already seeing tons of great advice just down here in the chat. But here's the thing, guys. We need to help each other. Like, it's not optional. Look, these guys are all colluding with each other. They're all sitting there having their meetings in the back rooms, and we know they do it. How can we take guns from the people today? How can we bring in this NWO or this Great Reset? All these different things that they talk about. How can we do this? And they're constantly scheming against you and me and all of us. Well, we need to constantly be not scheming, because that implies something's bad. No, we need to get together and uplift each other with brotherhood, with camaraderie. You can put whatever words you want to it, but it's called just people being people and Americans being Americans. And I'll tell you what, man, as much as I need you guys all need each other. We all need each other, literally, as much as possible. And there's some really, really depressing stuff going on right now. There really is. Should we put our head in the sand and forget about it all and it'll go away? No. Unfortunately, the time's now. We have to get in the good fight. We have to be vigilant, and we cannot stop. Now, do we just sit there and run around? You can do that once in a while. It's okay, guys. Like, literally, when I watch the former vice president, every once in a while, and I won't blow you guys out with a microphone, but much louder than this, I'll go, okay, got rid of the adrenaline. I feel better now. And I think you guys do that sometimes too. And that's good. You can do that. It's okay to be angry, and you should be angry. But then you need to move on from that and get down to business and say, all right, but I need to keep training. Okay. I need to find my training partner. I need to see what my neighbors are up to. And then it's time to actually sometimes, you know, put the time in, put the training in. It's also time, like I said, to uplift each other with words, with actions, with just hanging out with people, you know. This is going to sound corny, but I'm telling you guys what, when I'm out there battling my normal job during the day, the elements, the heat, all these things that suck, and then I read like some terrible headline in the news, the former vice president is now coming to take this. I'm just like, man, what the heck am I doing? Like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't drink, so that's not a valid crutch. Sometimes I wish I did. You know what I mean? I don't drink, though. So I can't drink it away. And I'm sitting there thinking, what do I do? I don't know. Is this even worth it? Look, all of us think that once in a while. And then I'll look down on my phone and I'll get a comment. And someone's like, you know what? Just got done watching your stream. It might have been 5 days later. And they're like, and you really inspired me to keep fighting the good fight. And thank you so much, brother, for doing what you're doing. And I stopped for a minute. And I'm like, you know what? We are making a difference. There's still a fight to be fought, and we can still win this fight. So I'm just telling you guys from my personal experience how I feel about a lot of this stuff. Marco Polo with the super chat. Thanks, man. Got my We the People shirt with the llama, and that's part of his avatar. And I want to thank my friend MaxShot62. He helped us out and helped the channel and actually helped all of you. And he's the one that made those shirts possible. So thanks a lot, MaxShot. And I just get such positive feedback on those shirts. And that's something that literally MaxShot, you know, if you guys like those shirts, thank him. He came up with like from his heart, and I appreciate it, man. And people like literally love the shirts, dude. Speaking of the devil, I literally didn't even see this, but I saw the shirt thing. And again, MaxShot. He says with the super chat, thanks for the generous super chat, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Jeez. Between you and some of these good people, I'm starting to feel a little guilty, but I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm going to give it all back to you guys. We'll provide content, so it'll be all good, man. But you guys are more than generous. Thank you. He says, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Cooper, there's a good one. He says, was once asked by a reporter, did you once say violence begets violence? His response was, I certainly hope so. Jeff Cooper, Lieutenant Colonel. That's a good one, man. I like that. Mateo, are you watching, man? Thanks for all you do for the channel, too, by the way, Mateo. There's a couple of people behind the scenes that help a lot. And Mateo can't go more than a day or two without mentioning Jeff Cooper. So as soon as I thought of that, I'm like, yeah, shout out to Mateo. How many Jeff Cooper fans are there out there? Alvin Davis, what's happening, man? Channel member says, I was hoping the G3 slide would fit my G2. My G3 slide does not fit my G2C. And I've done videos about that, but the G3C, yeah. I've done videos on that too. So there you go. Rockford Ordnance, how you doing, man? Are you hanging in there? I hope you're doing all right, man. I don't want to ask if you're doing good because I already know the answer. Your loss that you suffered, man. I've been praying for you, and I've been thinking about you a lot, and there's really nothing I can say, you know. Sorry about your son. I mean, I'll say that, but I don't understand what you're going through. I'm not going to try to understand it, but you need to stay strong too, man. You know, God bless you, Rockford. You've gone through a lot, and I know there's been a little bit of time, but take care, man. I don't really have any proper words, to be honest with you, except for God bless you. And I've been keeping you in my prayers ever since I found out about your son, man. So I think you've made it all public knowledge on your channel. I don't really like to talk about other people's business, but Rockford had a loss, guys, of his son. He's talked about it on his channel, and, you know, I hope you're doing good, man. I really do. I hope you're doing the best you can, okay? Just trying to be a realist here, but stay strong, dude. I felt really, really bad when I heard that. It just totally sucks. Lee Sandrock, new channel member. Thanks, man. He says, 2A EDU, Illinois stinks, but I'm fighting the fight. My life's mission is constitutional carry nationwide. And we should, because the Constitution applies to the whole United States of America, doesn't it? Look, there should be no politics with the Second Amendment at all. And I don't really understand. Some people come in there. Came for the guns, 2A EDU, but I left for your politics. Because I get lots of very, very encouraging messages. And those are the ones that I actually take to heart and provide me strength and motivation, but I get lots of nasty, very discouraging messages. I came for the shotgun video, 2A EDU, and I left for your darn politics. How dare you talk about the founding fathers? They'll tell me. They'll say, what's wrong with you? And I'll say, well, don't ask me what's wrong with me. I'm citing the founding fathers. If there's something wrong with them, we'll go ahead and express it, but I'm not the one that came up with this grand experiment on self-governance, a country of the people, by the people, for the people. And the only reason the government would be there is to literally protect your unalienable rights that were given to you. These are laws of nature and of nature's God endowed by your creator. And that the government would only be there to preserve those rights. Like, that's not my words. I didn't come up with that. And it seems a lot of gun owners nowadays have a problem with that. And they have a big problem with that. And since they have such a problem with the founding fathers, they end up having a problem with me, actually. But that's okay. I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, we need to fight. We need to fight the good fight everywhere. This isn't politics. I'm not here saying the Democrat gun owners must now fight the non-Democrat gun. I'm not mentioning Democrat or Republican at all. And I'm calling out the former vice president because he's coming for our guns and our ammo, and he said he would, and he is. And I actually called out President Trump when he did his crap with the bump stocks. I called him out. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Called him out. Here's what happens, guys, in the gun world. Look, it doesn't matter. You can stay 100% consistent, and people are going to call you out because here's what happens. I'm going to call out Trump, I said, because he just literally, remember when he called for red flag laws? I called him out for it. Not because I called him out, but for many reasons. Then he kind of backed off. Then he did the bump stock thing, which the only reason we're dealing with braces and firearms frames and receivers and ATF and all these shenanigans is because of the precedents that was set with the bump stock. And it was a very, very slippery slope. And I called President Trump out for that. Because I hate him? No, I don't know him, actually. Were there many policies he's had that I liked? Yeah, actually. But I called him out for what he did wrong. And I lost a lot of subscribers. And I got lots of hate mail. And I got this and I got that. And I'm out of here. Screw you. Okay. And then actually when the election was coming to a head, I said, but here's the thing. And it really, really sucks. But now I'm going to vote for Trump because this former vice president is going to be literally 100 times worse. And I hate the lesser of two evils. And it's a big dilemma. And it makes a lot of people sick. And a lot of us didn't sleep that night on election night. I totally get it. And then a bunch of people hated me for that. And then I'll have people hating me tonight because I'm ripping on this former vice president. It's just the way it works. But no, this is above politics. This isn't just Democrats and Republicans. No, this should actually be like Americans versus anti-Americans, because it never says if you're a member of the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or the Bull Moose Party or the Whig Party. Like none of that's mentioned actually at all. It says all men are created equal and they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. That's actually what it says. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. And if you're in a state like Illinois or New York or heck, even Michigan for that matter, in a lot of ways, Michigan's a little more of a swing state than Illinois, granted, but you've got many people that would want to demonize you standing up for the Second Amendment. But just remember, the Second Amendment, that's not giving anyone rights, not in Illinois anyways. No, it's actually prohibiting the government from infringing on anybody's rights whatsoever, no matter what state they live in, no matter what political party they're part of. That's it. That's what it does. It's supposed to be like above politics. It's supposed to be above the states. It's just supposed to be, this is America. This is what it is. The mission statement, the purpose of the country, that's the Declaration of Independence. Then you have the Constitution, that's the law of the land, as amended with the Bill of Rights, which is the law of the land that puts the government in a cage to preserve these natural, God-given rights that were part of the blueprint and the founding of this country in the Declaration of Independence. And that's a very, very brief explanation of how it works. And I know there's more to it than that, but not really. It's actually pretty darn simple. And people try to complicate things to confuse people, but it's actually very, very simple if you really sit and think about what this country actually is. So, like I said earlier, we need to practice, guys. And the price of steel-cased ammo in general, it went up to about, double the triple price because of what I call the flugaloo. This ongoing thing, this plague, this whatever, right, Susan Wiki, this plague that we've had for a year and a half. From about March of 2020 and on, ammo went way, way up in price. And we had shortages of ammo. And we still actually do. Before you guys go on, hold on. Yes, ammo's plentiful. You can get it everywhere, but it's 3, 4, 5, some cases 6 times, depending on your caliber. Some calibers are still very hard to get, guys. But even the common calibers are double, triple-ish of what they were a year and a half ago. Well, that's part of what a shortage means. It doesn't mean you can't find it if it's a shortage. No, it means it's either hard to find and or the prices are elevated, right? Because if you have enough money, if you're just willing, the sky's the limit, you can get whatever you want, okay? Picasso painting, not the most rare painting ever, but not exactly common. But if you have enough money, you could fill a whole room full of Picassos. If you literally had Jeff Bezos money, you could go buy Picasso paintings every day for years and never run out of money. So does that mean, you guys get what I'm saying, right? So we still have an ammo shortage right now. The fact that it costs triple what it did, double the triple in most cases of what it did a year and a half ago, rather. There you go. Okay, the steel cased ammo. A lot of people have bought steel cased ammo in the last year and a half because, in my opinion, it's been the most plentiful, meaning every bit of ammo sold out completely a year and a half ago. It started to come around, right? It started to come back in stock a little bit. I'm going to pin this. Someone's quoting John Crump. John Crump and I talked about this last night. I'll hold that thought. Okay, so right around the time ammo started to come back down in price, and much of the reason, in my opinion, just noticing all these large retailers, online, local retailers, from the national chains to the small gun shop, you know, it seemed like the steel case is what really started to come in first and most prevalent as the ammo shortage was starting to subside just a little bit. Have you guys kind of noticed that too? Well, right around the time we were watching ammo just steadily dropping in price, like every week it'd just be a little bit cheaper, and we were all waiting. We knew it wouldn't come back down to what it was before. Heck, I predicted that a year and a half ago, and so did all of you. But we were waiting and we were watching it. We're like, well, maybe it'll come down to where it's only 50% more than what it was last year instead of 300%. And that would be a lot better than what we have right now. Okay. Well, right around that time, the former vice president announces a sanction on the Russian ammo, which had a huge initial impact, obviously, because all of a sudden all the Russian ammo sold out within minutes. And then when it came back available on the websites a few days or a week later, the price was up 50%, 100%. In a lot of cases, it doubled. I was seeing 7.62 by 39 steel case. Look, it was $3.60 on a good deal, March of 2020. Okay. And then it went all the way up to, I don't know, $7, $8, $9, but there was shortages. Then it slowly drifted back down to about $6.50 a box. A little less than double what it was the year before. Then boom, the former vice president announces the sanction. Becomes public knowledge, and it doubles to like 12 a box, and it's even real spotty at that. I'm just using 7.62 by 39 as a reference. Very common caliber from Russia. I think that's a decent baseline example. We could do it with all kinds of calibers. Here's the thing. With this ammo sanction, more information's come out. There's something called a Form 6 that you can get. And that's called a paperwork where you're applying for a permit to import. They're going to start denying these Form 6s, meaning no more contracts for imports can be inked after the 7th of this month here. So I think that's like Monday or Tuesday, right? So after like next Tuesday, no more imports can be signed. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't do a Form 6 for up to 2 years worth of ammo. So in theory, and I can't guarantee it, I have to see it just to make sure, right? So we could have 2 years on a Form 6 where they can get the Russian ammo. Okay. Now, some people say that means that we're not affected by the imports. I argue with that, and I argue with people that I respect a lot, but they're just wrong, and here's how I can prove it, and I already proved it. Do I want to be right on this? No, I'm just telling you guys the truth, what is. Of course, we're affected by it right now. Who in their right mind could possibly think we won't be affected until 2 years from now, when literally as of like 2 weeks ago, all of it sold out, and what came back in price is double price. So there's no speculation on whether we're going to be affected by it. Russian steel case ammo has literally doubled for many of the popular, Russian type calibers overnight. It's over. Case closed. There's nothing to debate on this. People come in every day, and I know you guys are trying to be optimistic, and I'm being optimistic too, but I'm not going to lie to you just to make you feel good. 2AE to you, do you realize that the Russian ammo isn't going to be affected for 2 more years? And I'm like, really? That's funny, because it was $6.60 a box for Wolf X39 2 weeks ago, and now it's 12 or 13. I don't think there should be anyone even questioning this. So of course, look, guys, of course it's affected. Now, maybe the other question people are wondering is this, and that is true. They're not going to shut off all of the ammo necessarily on day one. Now, does that mean they couldn't do something else in the future to do that? Of course they could. They could come back with another sanction that's worded a little bit differently and could stop it, because there's other things that have been banned from import in the past that were stopped literally instantly, that didn't take 2 years or whatever. So it could happen. It could happen. So yeah, I'm making this pretty clear, guys, and I'm reading lots of comments. I love you guys' comments, but I'm pretty darn sure the comments you guys are leaving, you're not listening to what I'm saying here. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Russian ammo, there's a Form 6. When they secure one, it lasts up to 2 years. So in theory, if this ban lasts forever, which it probably will, we can import Russian ammo for up to 2 years. If nothing else changes, if the Russian businesses don't go out of business in the meantime, if they don't put in yet another sanction that clamps down on it harder, because don't forget they could, but I'm not predicting that right now, but I wouldn't dismiss it either. It's all possible, trust me. I don't know. I don't know what to tell people. I literally don't. And it's fine. I'm just going to ignore those comments for now, guys, to be honest with you, because a friend of mine said one thing. He's my good friend, and it's not, look, 2A EDU. Someone else just told me. This is what people are telling me right now in the chat like crazy. 2A EDU, they said. Did you hear this guy that's much smarter than you? And these people are smarter than me, and they're actually like my really, really good friends. Said that it won't be affected for 2 years. Well, that's not actually what they said. But what do you mean it won't be affected for 2 years? The price has doubled, and everyone's sold out. Within minutes of them announcing it, literally within minutes, I went online. I bought a couple cases of 223 Tula ammo. I bought 10 boxes of 545. I bought some 9 Makarov. The next day, I was shifting some money around. I'm like, I want to buy 10 more boxes of 545, and it was already sold out. Of course, I've got oceanfront property in Arizona. From your front porch, you can see the sea, and I'll sell it to you for really cheap, I promise. Look, guys, if nothing's happened with Russian ammo, then please, all of you guys, I'll literally give you guys an address. I'll give you a P.O. box. I'll buy all of your Russian ammo off of you right now for exactly what it cost 3 weeks ago, within reason. But I'll buy thousands of dollars of it for the price 2 weeks ago, which I'm sure everyone's going to be blowing on my email on that, because absolutely nothing's happened to Russian ammo, according to many people, and it won't for 2 years. Well, that's awesome news. Please sell it to me for the price that you bought it for 2 weeks ago, and I'd be happy about that. So here's the deal. There's 2 years in theory up to of imports still coming in, because that's how long their contracts last for. What's happening, Mashallah Duke? I am very happy to see you tonight. Seriously, I'm really happy to see you. I hope you're doing good. There's a good old Michigan girl right there. I like her. Okay. Some rounds are going to be in trouble. Let's just be honest. 545 by 39, that's in trouble. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 762 by 39, it's in trouble too. Not for the same exact reasons why. So 545, besides Russia, we ain't getting any that I can see in the future, really. Not in the near future. Not even in the far future. 762 by 39, though. There's a few countries that still make it. We're still going to get it. But I can't help but to notice. Do you guys remember back 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago. And AK, let's say a baseline one was 350. And a baseline Armalite was 1,000-ish. Things have reversed themselves. That even before the Flugaloo, let's go back to February of 2020, a year and a half ago, but it feels like 100 years ago, right? You know what I'm saying? Dog 93, how's it going? So, you know, okay, look, so pre-Flugaloo, because prices have been messed up since, and gun prices are coming down, and this is good, guys. I'm excited about that. There's some good news going on right now, too. Now it's like a cheap AR a year and a half ago was $350. Literally, you could put one together with 2 pens for $350. I'm not even joking. And then the baseline AKs have gone up to 1,000. So what does that tell me? Well, that's supply and demand. It means that even though the AR is America's rifle, no doubt, I have no doubt in my mind, there's hundreds of times more ARs in this country than AKs. But in recent times, and that's when this ammo sanction's happening, is right now. So it wouldn't be fair to look at what ammo is getting banned now versus what guns was the most prevalent gun 30 years ago. No, let's talk about the here and now. I think I have a pretty good pulse on this because I sit there and go on about, talking about all different topics, but I get like a lot of comments of people asking me about AKs. And I go to the local gun shop and there's a lot more AKs on the wall than there used to be. Talking to the different, gun shop owners and people around town, AKs are very, very popular right now. So although the AK, the 7.62 by 39, now AKs are chambered in many, many rounds, but that's the predominant round that most people are shooting, okay? Most people are shooting. Yes, there's still going to be alternative sources, but 7.62 by 39 is going to be hurting as far as price for a while because so many people are shooting the guns. They're very, very popular. So that's my 2 cents on that. I have an article here I'm going to read you guys in 1 second from over here on my locals page. Actually, I'll share the screen where we're talking about, look, guys, so let's back up. 5.45 by 39. Are there even any AK-74 fans in the house? I don't want to spend too much time on it if there isn't, but I like the 5.45 by 39. I like the 74. It's an awesome rifle. Very low recoil, just the rugged AK design, but with like half of the kick, if you will, of 7.62 by 39. Virtually none. Like sometimes it's like, am I shooting a 22 long rifle? Like it's got some bark to it as far as the noise goes, but very, 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 very easy, smooth shooting rifle. And Rockford, there you go. Look, I'm not going to say you're wrong on that. The popularity of the AK scared our leaders. What better way to curb its popularity? There you go. We've been fighting people running around with towels and sandals for 20 years. And then we just conceded to them, gave them victory, and gave them $80 billion worth of armament, right? Zach Carr, no. But that's a topic for another day. Maybe someone can extrapolate, but no. That's my short answer. Just because I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent. But, okay, 5.45 by 39. Let's look at that round real quick here. Developed by Russia, obviously. The cheap 7.6 ammo, which they said was armor piercing, it doesn't meet that definition, but that's okay because the AR guys didn't care and everyone thought, look, this is how this worked. I'm not joking, guys. The AK guys joined with the AR guys to fight off the M855 ban, and we fought it off because we all united. The AR guys laughed at all the AK guys and said, screw that, I don't care. Or in some cases actually wrote in to support the 7.6 5.45 ban because I don't know why. I don't think anyone here is like this. I really don't. But so many AR owners like hate AK owners. I own both. So I guess I have to hate myself or love myself. Depends what day of the week it is, right? I don't know. Any day of the week that ends with a A and a Y, I guess I have to love myself. But all the other days that end in a Y, I have to hate myself because I like both. I just do. But I'm more of an AK guy. Anyway, 7.6 got banned. That was the designation to the Russian surplus ammo. It was really cheap. They banned it, but they were still producing modern production. Okay, modern production, non-corrosively primed, the modern stuff, steel case, bimetal, projectile. The bullet jacket, it's called. Soft steel, but steel nonetheless. Okay. So the ammo's been available. Well, it was invented by Russia. A lot of it still came from Russia. Now, what other countries could we possibly get it from? And I'm going to read a couple chats before I get behind, and then I'll go through them all, and you guys can decide for yourselves what you think the odds are that we'll be getting any more 5.45 by 39 anytime soon or forever. I don't know. Hopefully not forever. I just don't really see much light at the end of the tunnel. MaxShot62 with another super chat and a channel member. Thanks a lot, man. He says 2A EDU. If you can't feed them or afford to feed them, yeah, you got a gun control, bottom line. There you go. It's all about making things where people just can't afford it. And that's obvious. They've always done that. They literally have. Doesn't matter what party they're in. Democrats do this like crazy, obviously, right now. Okay? Just saying. Not trying to get too political, but I'll be as political as I want. But that's not my goal. I'm just saying. They say they're for the poor people, but then they put bans in place that only affect, poor people. Imagine that. Gizmo Rob TV with the super chat. Thanks, man. So the government never took something away and gave it back. This is the final countdown. M90s and Beryls will be the master race. And there you go. And I have an M90 Yugo. maybe right behind me. Susan Wiki, not in my personal possession right now. And I may have gotten one of those 5.56 Barreals a couple months ago too. I think I put a community post up about it. A lot of people are going to switch over to the 5.56 AK. It is chambered in off the top of my head, 10 calibers ish. I'm not joking, guys, literally. So a lot of people are going to switch to that. But here's the thing with the 5.45 by 39, because that's a classic round, really. I mean, if you think of the primary round for the AK, I think 7.62 by 39 first. Then I kind of think 5.45 by 39. And then, of course, 7.62 by 54R. We can't forget about the big AKs, the PSLs and stuff like that. Dragunov, it's not really an AK, though, to be honest with you guys. But a PSL, it's a big AK. I like those too. Vapors and 54R. But 5.45, it's, okay, literally in the 70s, what Russia started switching over to and what they use today. So Russia, that's off the table now. Okay, Poland. They had a rifle called the Tanto that was only made for really a couple years, and they only made 20-something thousand of them. I think it's 27, 28,000 Tantos were ever made. Some parts kits came over, some were built, but they're not a very common gun. But Poland switched from the 7.62 by 39 for a flash in the pan 5.45 by 39, and then moved over to the 5.56, and I've been using that ever since. And that's where the beryllium, that Rob here is talking about, that's where that comes into play. And that's been more frontline ever since. So I don't think so. It's been a whole generation since anyone in Poland made 5.45. They're not currently making it. They're not exporting it. They don't make guns that shoots it. You guys know what I'm saying? So no, probably not. Well, we've got Romania. There's a chance. There's a chance. Okay, there is. But Romania, look, Romania exports stuff to other militaries. They still do use the AIMS 74, AIMS 74, which is a 774 5.45 by 39 variant. But I'm not so sure about that, because there's a big company that's in between most of the imports and us, and they're named Century Arms. And if there's one way to complicate and screw up something that makes sense or is a good deal, it's them, in my opinion. So I don't know. That's who brings in the Red Army Standard. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Let's just put it that way. Well, that brings up Ukraine. And for whatever reason, everybody talks about that all the time. But Ukraine's going to sell it to us. Look, guys, I said it last week. And that's cool. I love like a wealth of information. But just to be blunt with you guys, a lot of people didn't believe me. They said, but 280 to you. They lie. You lied. Well, I didn't purposely lie, but okay. Ukraine is going to be the answer, because Ukraine is the largest manufacturer of 5.45 by 39. And all Russia has to do is go in there and ship their ammo into Ukraine and launder it through them. No, it's not that simple, guys. They have to have inspection reports. It's a lot more complicated to import than that. I hate to say it. It just is. Russia and Ukraine aren't exactly friends. Did you guys remember in the news? And probably most of you guys know this. I'm just reiterating for the people. 280 to you. You lied, they said. I'm like, okay. Well, I didn't, but hold on. Ukraine is the largest manufacturer of 5.45 by 39 in the world, and them and Russia are friends. Do you guys remember the whole thing when the former vice president was the vice president, right? Remember that era when gas was $5 a gallon? Now gas will be $5 a gallon probably by this time next year. But you remember that the former vice president, they call him. Why? Well, because he is the former vice president. It was $5 a gallon, and Russia annexed Crimea, the Crimea Peninsula. And there was actually a conflict, an armed conflict with shots fired with Russia and Ukraine. And they're actually not friends at all, actually. They're actually like literally designated enemies. Okay, with that out of the way. But hold on, there's the big, well, okay, Ukraine had two factories, guys. One of them was rendered completely obsolete by the conflict when Russia, annexed Crimea. The other one's so close to the border, you can speculate why, but people came in, vandalized, pillaged. Romania, maybe, but not Ukraine. I'm going to pull up something right now. Let me come over here and share my screen real quick. Yeah, Matt Morrison, Russia annexed Crimea. LOL. I don't think they get along, but you'd be surprised, Matt. I'm trying to help you guys. Look, guys, I have to be a little sarcastic, okay? Because people rip me a new one. They're like, dude, you are wrong. Russia and Ukraine are best friends and they're gonna. And I'm like, look, guys, it's like, I'm going to try to just give you guys some information. So here's where I'm at. Let me go over here and share this screen. I'm not good at using this software. I don't do a lot of this. And we are going to come over to the 2A EDU locals page. I'm going to treat you guys to this. I know a lot of you guys are really excited about locals, and here you guys go. So Mateo put up a post, okay? And this is an article that he found that came from the Ukrainian military industrial complex is what it translates into. I can't pronounce this. Can you guys see that okay? Let me come back over here and make sure. I'll read it to you the best I can with some mispronunciations because I'm not real good at pronouncing some of this stuff, okay? I don't speak Slavic, I guess, very well. Okay, this first word is going to kill me right off the rip. Ukroboronprom. There is no longer any ammunition production industry in Ukraine. And this is by Kristeli Nyant, I think is how you pronounce that. And this was published 1/12 of 2020. So right before the Flugaloo. This is over a year and a half ago, before the former vice president's ban. Really, that's all I need to read, right? There is no longer an ammunition production industry in Ukraine. So actually, that's kind of the end of it. But I'll go on because I think this is interesting. In an interview with RBK Metals, the general director of Ukroboronprom, Ukrainian Military Industrial Complex, Igor Fomenko, said that there is no longer an ammunition production industry in Ukraine and that it would have to be recreated from scratch. And a quote, "Our only ammunition factory remained in the occupied territory of Lugansk, i.e. in the Lugansk People's Republic. Unfortunately, there is no longer any ammunition production industry in Ukraine. In fact, it would have to be recreated from scratch, from large to small caliber. Now we buy everything. Of course, we also use stockpile residues, but among them are those that have already reached the end of their life. They sometimes lose their characteristics while in the warehouses," says Fomenko. In this view, Ukraine will not be able to organize local ammo production for several years at best. This means that Kiev has to buy everything from 5.45, bingo, to 7.62 bullets to large caliber artillery shells. He also recalled that Kiev had signed a contract with the American company Gray Fox, which had received an advance payment but had not supplied the promised large caliber shell production line. The company Artyom won the lawsuit with them in the Stockholm arbitration, but it is now a matter of enforcing the decision. This is not a quick procedure, said Fomenko. According to him, it was this case that slowed down the further development of the government's program to recreate a munitions production industry in Ukraine. We very much hope that a political decision would be taken in December, and we will continue to work on the creation of an ammo production industry and the acquisition of the necessary equipment, even if not in very large numbers. This is important so that in a year and a half we can start mass production of large caliber ammunition, said Fomenko. He added that funds for the purchase of equipment should be released so that this production line can be set up next year. 152 to 155 millimeter shells can be produced within a few years. Note what he said. Their first, I know this article is a year and a half old, but he was hoping a year and a half from then to make large caliber ammunition. 5.45, that's not large. 152 to 155 millimeter, that's large caliber ammunition, right? I'm just going to come over here and check real quick because I'm not used to stream and make sure, or not used to sharing. Okay, it looks like you guys can still see the screen here. I'm going to continue. It says the disastrous situation of the Ukrainian military industry was commented on by Alexei Podbrekskin, the director of the Moscow State Institute of International Relations. For him, it is due to the fact that Ukraine allowed its military-industrial complex to be plundered after the collapse of the USSR. Ukraine inherited a very important part of the Soviet military-industrial complex, but the problem is that nobody got involved in this military industry. They let it go down the path of so-called conversion, i.e. theft and sale. Ukraine became an exporter of Soviet arms. Everything that could be sold abroad was, including, by the way, ammunition. That they were actively sold by Ukraine to countries that previously received Soviet arms and military equipment, and what was not sold was stolen or simply destroyed. All those endless fires in ammunition warehouses, explosions were becoming commonplace. Therefore, the assessment that there is no ammunition industry is absolutely right, said Alexei Podbrekskin. These are people like at the top here that would be in the know about this. And it said the expert explained that Ukraine would not be able to quickly recreate a munitions production industry due to lack of money, time, and skilled labor. And they go on to talk about what would all be involved in getting their ammo industry going. And I guess literally all I needed to read was the first sentence, and it kind of said it all. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody should tell you guys, right? There's no ammo coming from Ukraine. Obviously. Maybe someday, I hope. I don't know. So here's a couple pictures. This is the old spam can. This is kind of interesting. Can you guys see this picture on here? I'm going to blow it up. This is how ammo is made, actually. Look at the steel case. It starts off as a disc. See over here, like on the left? Here's where the discs are cut out, punched out of a sheet of stock. Starts off, rather thick, like a little disc, and they're actually extruded, and the case walls are drawn from this disc of steel. You can see here's some dyeing, some tooling right here. See, tool and die. A lot of you guys know what that's all about. A lot of you guys work, I know, in the fabricating businesses. But yeah, this is just showing you guys a little. It's kind of interesting when you look at it all here step by step, the whole extrusion of cases process. And it's different tool and die, and it's just a different process to make brass cased ammunition as it is this 5.45. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Not a lot of other countries actually produced 5.45 by 39. Well, there's some other countries that used it, no doubt. The DDR, the East Germans, you have countries like Bulgaria. But look, they switched over to other calibers decades ago, like literally in the last century. 5.45 is going to be rough. Now, what some of you guys are wondering is steel case versus brass case. Will it hurt my gun? Is steel case bad? Is it good? Well, there's not actually just a 100% answer. And I'm going to say this first and foremost. You should do what's comfortable for you, because you're the one that has to pay your ammunition bill. I'm going to tell you right now, you still need to keep practicing. Well-regulated militia. Remember how I started this stream tonight? But it's ultimately a personal decision, and you should decide for yourself, and you shouldn't do anything because I tell you to, or someone else does, or not do anything because I tell you not to, or someone else. Again, you're all very smart people. Make up your own mind. I'll tell you this, I'm personally not afraid of steel case or intimidated by it in almost all of my guns, with very few exceptions. First of all, most of my firearms, whether modern or milsurp, function just fine on steel, and always have. Second of all, I've not noticed some of these things that people worry about. I've not noticed my barrels wearing out like instantly. I've not had a rash of broken extractors, things like that. And there is occasionally the finicky gun that won't shoot steel. And if it's something that's not in my carry routine or not one of my life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, then I'm not going to be too worried about it. If I just have a gun that's kind of a fun gun that I mainly collect, because the main reason to have guns in this country is to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this well-regulated militia. But of course, we also have the right to property, and we're allowed to collect and just enjoy history and old relics. And I like to do some of that too, okay? So if it's a gun that's kind of just in the collection and I mainly just enjoy its history and just having it and looking at it and messing around with it, and, very occasionally shooting it, and it doesn't like steel case, I'm fine with that, because I'm not going to be putting the round counts of hundreds of rounds or thousands of rounds through it. So I'm like, if I still appreciate the gun, that's fine. But any kind of gun that I'm going to actually depend on for a potential situation, if it won't shoot steel, it's got to go. Now, does that mean I'm going to throw it away? Not necessarily, but it's going to be relegated from my potential frontline use. Look, I'm not on the front lines. I'm saying potentially, though, right? If the need were to arise, if there's trouble at the midnight hour, and look, while seconds matter, police are only minutes away, that gun has to be pretty well seasoned and pretty well tried and true for me to particularly trust it. And I encourage all of you to shoot your guns with the ammo that you're going to carry in it, because some guns are finicky on certain types of ammo. Others are not. So I can make some generalities, though. If your firearm was made in the com block of the com block, and a lot of times it contains many of the original parts, then of course the gun is probably going to be good to go with steel case, because it was designed for it in many cases. And I don't know why you'd be worried about it, because probably before that gun came here to the United States and before you got it, it probably ran tens of thousands, and in some cases it make you shriek how many rounds some of these guns shot before they came to the United States. Let's face it, because a lot of times they get passed down from country to country to country, and they use them pretty well, and then we get them here, right? So let's just say this. You've got an AK. It's Romanian, built from a Romanian parts kit. Let's say it's a Wasser. Okay, original Romanian Cougar factory assembly of military surplus parts with the older Wassers. Now they're using new production. But either way, you've got a cold hammer forged in chrome line barrel. You've got forged trunnions. You've got forged bolt. Your gun was made for steel case. You're going to be all right. In my opinion, I wouldn't even think about it. Again, in my opinion, if you're really worried about it, don't do it. The last thing I want people to do is worry. So there you go. A lot of pistols, your little Makarov pistols, all these things usually do pretty well on steel because in many cases they were designed for steel case also. Now here's the elephant in the room, the AR-15. Okay, that's an invention of the United States, although exported and used, including to the Taliban most recently. The M4s, the Armalites, exported to all of the allies, and allies including, allegedly, according to the former VP, right, Susan? The Taliban, allegedly, the allies. 7,000 M4s, I think, were just gifted to them. That's where a lot of people are going to say, no, dude, just not in my AR. And there's some merit to that on both sides. So let me just get this right out of the rip, okay? So if you guys need to enjoy the rest of your Friday night and you're just so mad, you can rage leave the stream and then enjoy the rest of your night. No, I'm not trying to get you guys mad. That was a joke. But I always get someone mad, okay? But it's all good. Look, I shoot steel case in my ARs. A lot, actually. And here's what's interesting about the AR. First of all, mil spec doesn't really mean a whole lot, or mil standard, or all these different things they say, because look, in the truest sense, it means something. In real life, it doesn't mean a whole lot, because I've seen chambers that are literally like out of the whack from being like way too loose to way too tight. There's constant variables. But what is prone to sometimes happen and is known to happen, now I don't think it happens as much as the story is repeated. You guys know how that works. It happens once. Somebody tells their friend, they tell a friend, now 10 people know about it. They tell 10 people they know, and you know what it instantly turns into? 10 people have their AR-15 jam up or whatever on steel case. And they're not trying to be bad people. That's just how life works. It's called that game of telephone, right? So for every 10 people you hear about steel case ruining their AR-15, it might have happened to one person. So that's my opinion. All this is my opinion. I think the problems with using steel case and AR-15s is grossly, grossly exaggerated. However, I'm not going to call anyone a liar, whether they're in the chat here tonight or elsewise, if they say they witnessed it or they had a problem with steel case and an AR-15, because there are problems in those with steel case sometimes, and it has been known to happen. And as much as I'm an AK guy and love the AK, AKs have been known to puke too. And there has been AKs that have totally just fallen apart into nothingness during a training class or just out on the range. So let's be fair about this. There's any gun there is, trust me. I've seen Glocks break. They've all broken. I've never seen a G2C break. The Taurus G2C has never broken even once, okay? And I do have oceanfront property for sale too in Arizona. Like I said, from the front porch, you know, you can see the sea. Anyways, besides the G2C, Taurus G2C, right, Susan? On locals, we'll show that G2C to you guys tomorrow night. The original one. Besides that one, every gun that's ever been existed's had problems. So let's go back to the AR with steel case. Okay. In theory, the chamber on an AR may, or actually may not be, because I've seen this wide variance out there, guys. That's where this is so complicated. Are known to have sometimes what's called a little bit tighter chamber than an AK. Okay. So when you shoot steel case in it, there's been reported that people have had cases, what's called stick. The case stuck in their chamber. The extractor claw went to grab it, couldn't pull it out of there. And that can be an issue. That can stop you right in the middle of training, practicing, or God forbid, in a firefight, right? So it can be a problem. Now, why does that happen? Well, in my opinion, some chambers are actually too tight, and that's what is making that steel case stick. But there's another variable, and this happens too, and some of you guys have maybe heard this story before, and this is plausible. It's been known to happen a few times here and there. Literally, I'm not even being sarcastic. Is there any G2C fans in the house? Someone's going to stick up for me, right? And say, 280U's right. No G2C has ever failed, but every other gun has in the whole world. Okay, so you've got the chamber. All right. What happens is when you shoot the round, you ignite the primer. That's actually technically an explosion into the powder charge, which is actually not really an explosion, but a very rapid burn. It burns, creates pressure. Bullets leaving, pressure's expanding, and the case is going to expand and expand itself out to the walls of your chamber. Now, we could get more technical than that, but I don't think we need to. And please, we don't need to, because I'm not any smarter than this, and I can't get more technical than that. Case is going to expand out. You know, it's going to fill up that chamber area, okay? And this is the part of your barrel, by the way, where it's larger. That accounts for the case before it narrows itself down to the size of your bullet, right? So what happens is this. You've got soft, mild steel. And some people worry, well, the steel can wear out a chamber prematurely. I don't really think so, actually. Actually, there's a lot of other things that happen that wear chambers out quickly than the material, because the steel is an annealed soft steel that's in your case, and it is much, much softer than any type of steel your barrel's out of. Trust me, if your barrel is made out of comparable or weaker or more malleable, softer steel than your Wolf or Tula steel case, run, hide, get that thing away from me. I don't want to be 30 foot from you. That's literally how soft the steel is that steel case is made out of. So with that said, that's not really the big problem in my opinion. And we'll talk about the bimetal projectile in a second and why there could be concerns with the barrel. But after I read this very important message from Gray Man, because I really like him and he's a good guy, and I want to thank him for the super chat and for being a channel member. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. He says, your analysis is spot on tonight. Keep preaching, brother. Dude, I'm trying to have a good time. Thank you, though. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Just being myself. That's all I can be. I didn't know how to act, so I got on YouTube. Now I cut grass for a living. I got onto YouTube because I've met like awesome people, and I really think like we need each other right now. So that's why I'm here, just so you guys know. So here's the thing. I don't think the metal case is going to wear out your chamber. That's not what I'm worried about. But there is a potential concern within that chamber, and it has to do with this. So there's like different characteristics of metal, right? You're going to have its ductility, whether it's how ductile it is, how malleable it is, right? Its elasticity. And then there's another property where it expands, and then the time it takes for it to expand and then contract. Now, this all matters in a chamber. And here's why a lot of people say the steel case is so dirty. It might be dirty-ish, but it's not really for the reasons you think. It's because when steel expands, okay, it expands and then it has to relax. It expands and relaxes at a different rate. This does not have the same ductility, the ability to make it fluid and form to a shape, right, as brass does. So you might not get what's called as tight of a chamber seal. And this is important. So some powder residue, burnt, you know, whether it's powder itself or burnt byproduct of combustion, can kind of come back into that chamber a little bit. And then basically when the next round goes off, it'll expand up to where it's going to. It'll relax just a little bit. This happens in like a split second, like even faster than that, right? The extractor's going to grab it, rip it out of there. And water will kind of find its level, okay? Now, ARs, you do need to clean your chamber. They make that fancy star chamber brush and all that. AK, I've never cleaned a chamber. Oh, I have. I'm joking, guys. But you kind of need to clean it a little more in the AR than the AK. And I think that's been obvious both on the range and in battlefields. The AR is a more precision rifle, which might lead it to more accuracy, and people love the recoil where it's more in line with the bore rather than, look, there's millions of reasons you could love one more than the other, but it's kind of become pretty well known that the AK, you know, doesn't need to be cleaned as much as the AR. So let's go back to this again. So here's what can happen. Now I'm going to, let's see here. So your chamber's this big. This is, where's some steel case? Just pretend this is 5.56 for 2 seconds, even though it's X39. You know, this is going to expand up and make it tight-ish, but there's a little bit of a hole around there. So some burnt residue is going to get in there and kind of fill in around it over so many rounds. Well, that's fine. Usually, if you're still shooting steel to a point, then you need to clean it. Here's where people can run into trouble. And tell me down in the chat if this has ever happened to you guys, because I've seen this in real life. If you tell me this has happened, I'm going to totally believe you. Trust me. I'll actually believe whatever you guys say, because I don't really see anybody that would lie tonight. Brass. Brass is known to have a more rapid expansion. Its expansion and contraction rate's a little different. So we're sitting there. We're shooting steel. 20 rounds, 40 rounds, 100 rounds. There's no magic number, but you start shooting a certain amount of it, and then you switch over to brass. Brass 5.56. You guys know what I'm going to say, don't you? Some of you do. And all of a sudden, the brass rapidly expands more, and it was trying to seal the chamber tighter, but it couldn't, and it kind of just gets locked up and stuck in place up against that burnt gunk, carbon, we could call it, in the chamber. And that will lead to a stuck case more than anything that I've ever seen in the AR. So there's two types of things that the steel case can kind of stop you dead in your AR. And I'll just kind of summarize real quick for people just coming in. First of all, if your chamber is just super, super tight. And some of you guys may be doing that on purpose because you're just trying to get that quarter MOA AR-15. You know, you want to shoot at like 800 yards and have 2-inch groups. And that's something some of you strive to do. And that's awesome. You know, awesome, but there's no free lunch in life. But to get a chamber that tight where everything's just that precision, you're probably going to be using match grade ammo, maybe your own hand loads, okay? And you're going to have to be real finicky about the ammo that type of gun runs, because now that's a purpose-built gun. But if I had a choice and I just wanted a go-to get-her-done AR-15, I would want one where the chamber was a little bit on the bigger size. I want to emphasize a little bit. I don't mean so large that it's going to cause like unsafe conditions. I just mean within these small specifications, I'd rather have a little bit looser chamber, because now the gun's going to start eating everything, and it's going to be reliable, a little bit longer, you know, different types of ammo and stuff. So if your chamber is just overly tight, in my opinion, out of spec, quite frankly, yeah, you could get stuck steel cases. If you're shooting tons of steel case and switch right to brass, at least in a lot of ARs, literally a lot of times it's the very first brass case that sticks. Now, is this going to happen every time you do that? No. Are there some remedies that people have tried? Sure. And some of you guys might be chiming in with this right now. I've heard people literally say that they'll, to kind of hedge their bets, you know. Now, this is back before the Russian ammo ban. So steel was like way cheaper than brass for 7.62 by 39 at that point. And they said, hold on a minute. Here's what I do. I'll load 5 rounds of steel, 1 round of brass, 5 rounds of steel, 1 round of brass. And they've said they've had really good luck with that. And kind of, sort of, this is just a layman's way to word it, because that's all I am, guys. I don't have all the fancy words. But it kind of acts like a squeegee, and that brass, just as a little bit starts to build up from that steel case letting a little bit extra get by, that brass case will come in there, expand real nice. It'll rip it right out of there and squeegee and keep that chamber nice and clean. I've had people describe that to me before, that that's their tactic, and that's worked very well for them. Is there anybody else that's done that or seen that done? Certainly an idea, though, that I think has some merit to it. Okay, there's the other characteristics. They say the steel will break your extractor. I don't know, guys. Here's my idea on that. Look, could it break your extractor? Sure, it could. But a brass case could break your extractor too. I'm going to tell you guys a piece of trivia here. Are you in the house tonight, Orion Fixer? I think it was him. If not, it was Brastard762. I'm going to give Orion the credit for this one. I think he was in one of my streams a while back, and he said, guys, you do know that the way they anneal, you know, bring back the hardness of the steel on these cases, that in some cases, not always, but in some instances, I shouldn't use the word case because we're talking about cartridges here. In some instances, the steel case actually is softer than some brass cases. Did you guys know that? Like, literally, these have been tested with Rockwell hardness testing machines, and it's literally been proven scientifically in the past that in some instances, the steel case is actually softer steel than the brass is, because there's ways to harden brass. There's ways to alloy with brass. Now, there's many ways to alloy and soften steel. So there you go. Somebody said in my poll here, I've got a poll. And by the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Don't be stingy with that. That's totally free. There's many great ways to support the channel with the super chats and down in the description. But my Amazon link, and if you click it and make a purchase, it gives a small portion to the channel. That's totally free. And you guys can be like as tightwad as you want or as broke as you want. I still love you all and help me that way. Or just the thumbs up because it helps the stream. And here's the thing. She doesn't like the thumbs ups. And when we get her mad, that's a good thing, isn't it? Susan Wiki. Look, guys, 69% actually like the steel case, which is pretty cool. If you think about it, I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, but there's people that want to know, and I'm trying to explain some of this through you guys, okay? If you have an AK, look, if it's an AK that won't shoot steel case, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be blunt. I don't want it. It's not for me. If you have one, I don't want to condemn anything you guys have, but there's a problem, in my opinion, if your AK or your SKS don't like steel case. I'm not saying just try to address it the best you can. I could get off on a tangent on that, which I might in a minute. But the AR, it's a little touchier. I get it. Some of the chambers are really tight. You're mixing steel and brass case. The extractor. I've not had extractors break from shooting steel case. I just haven't. But if I was worried about it with the cost savings, now, nowadays, maybe not because Russian ammo's doubled in price. But I'm talking about all you guys that bought Russian ammo over the last 2 years or the last 20 years, okay, that bought this stuff and tried to save money. And I know some of you guys are. Probably someone watching this is kind of afraid of it because people say so all the time in my comments and they write me emails. And they're like, I'm afraid to use the steel case, man. Look, I don't know what to tell you guys other than to hear this. If you bought the Russian ammo in the past, you saved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. An extractor is not expensive, guys. It's not. It's real easy to do. I'm on YouTube, so I can't show you here right now. It's real easy, guys, to change it, okay? It's a very, very cheap part. So I'm not convinced that steel case, like, wears out extractors. But let's face it, an extractor is a... Well, all ammo wears out extractors. I'm just not convinced steel case really amplifies it much. Extractor is a wear and tear part. It literally is. And if you have a go-to life and liberty and pursuit of happiness gun to protect your family, or God forbid your country or whatever, your state, your county, look, if it's your go-to, and you all know what that means when I say that, for whatever reason, right? Defensively, Susan. Defensively, Susan Wiki. If it's your go-to to defend yourself or whatever, you should be changing your extractor every so often, and it's cheap, and these are not a lifetime part. I hate to break it to you. You can buy a whole new bolt. The whole bolt itself for actually pretty darn cheap compared to the, oh, I don't know, tens of thousands of rounds of whatever you're shooting it's going to take to wear that bolt out. If your bolt breaks on its first box of 223 Wolf or Tula, you had a junk bolt. End of story. Literally. I can be blunt about that. Mosquito. Did I get it? I just got it. Susan Wiki. Look at this, guys. We just tag teamed him. Here's the mosquito. Hold on. And look at Susan. Susan Wiki. I guess me and Susan are friends again. See, the remnants of that mosquito is lovingly on. Huh. Hi, Susan, and the team of YouTube people who love my stream so much, they're compelled to watch it all the time. And they want to ban it in a way, but in another way, they don't really want to ban it because they like the channel. They just can't admit it till they get off work. Then they watch the replay. So, hi, team of YouTube people that watch this channel. Susan Wiki, help me get the mosquito. Look, guys, if your AR-15 bolt breaks in your first box of steel case, it's a junk bolt, and thankfully it broke on the range. Now get a new bolt. Something happened. Something's wrong. Do you guys agree with me on that? Something's wrong. If your barrel broke, 100 rounds of steel, 1,000 rounds of steel, you had a junk barrel, but at least you realized it, and I guess get a new barrel. But don't worry. Here's where you can be rest assured. The steel case isn't what broke your barrel. I'm saying if it broke that quickly, or your bolt broke, or your extractor broke, it was going to break anyways. Trust me. Now, when you're talking the difference between getting 10,000 accurate rounds out of it with the best possible brass cased ammo versus 8,000, or if you're the average shooter that don't need to shoot at like sub MOA, maybe 15,000 out of the brass and 12, 13 out of the steel. These numbers aren't exact because I don't have any cheater notes in front of me. You know, you guys can think about that. But I would know you'll probably save $600 in ammo. This is if you bought the steel in the past. I'm just trying to reassure you guys that have the steel ammo already. Not really reassure you, just give you some info that I've learned of 27 years of shooting. You've saved $500, $600, $700 in ammo. I ain't worried about it if, like, for good measure, I put in an extra extractor or an $80, $100 barrel. If you've got something that you're going to be taking to Camp Perry and you've got a Criterion match barrel that you spent $1,300 for the barrel, and I don't even know, Jeff Cooper himself blessed it, well, then, you know what you're doing already. Those people aren't even going to be like asking for my opinion. But for everybody else, you'll probably be good to go. I ain't really worried about it. The bimetallic projectile. Yeah, the mild steel in the jacket, whether it's copper washed or otherwise, there's some steel in there. Is the steel hard? Of course not. But it's going to be a little more abrasive. So you will eventually wear it on your lands and grooves a little bit quicker with the steel case. Now, if it's a rifle, you're going to wear it out faster than if you're putting it in a pistol. It's just the facts. It's just the way it works. Assuming we're talking rifle and pistol rounds. So if you're talking the speed that a 5.56, 223 is racing out of the bore, any additional friction, you're going to notice the wear a little bit quicker than if you're shooting 9mm in your G2C, because you could have up to triple the speed coming out of a 5.56, 223 as you would a 9, right, Ish? You can think of that. Think of there's a certain loading for 9 that would be about a third the speed. When something's making heat and friction, we're just talking about the friction of this projectile getting twisted throughout the rifling. So no doubt the wear is a little more exponential on rifles than it is pistols. Then we go into what's the barrel made out of? What's the process of it was made? What's the treatment? Is it 4140 chrome vanadium steel? Is it 4150? Has it been nitrided? Not nitrided. Is it just raw steel? Has there been any surface treatments done? These are all factors. Now let's talk about chrome lining. Chrome lining actually really does a lot to help the longevity of a barrel. And if you look, most of the barrels in the com block, they chrome lined all their barrels and they designed them to shoot steel. I've shot steel out of my G2Cs. Awesome. Not a problem. I've done videos with it before. I would note, though, that with my Metgar Sig P226 mag, which is not technically designed for the gun, but it fits. A little bit of wiggle, but it fits. I've done videos. That with the stock spring with steel case, I was having a couple failure to feed problems. And that's simply because the steel case, you know, it's not as lubrous and it creates a little more friction as it's trying to feed up through that mag. With stack tolerances of the mag catch is kind of in the right spot for the 226 mag and the G2C, but not exactly right. So you've got a couple stacking tolerances with the fact that we're using a higher than what the G2C was made to shoot capacity mag, right? But then I put in a Wolf Performance spring and it completely fixed that problem. Now, am I going to say steel case sucks because of that reason? No. But now I know not to run steel case in that mag. So that's why I'm just being honest with you guys. And that's why you just have to take stuff out to the range. But I'm not going to blame steel case because I'm using a mag that works in my gun. And we've proven it works. And a lot of you guys know they do, but it wasn't designed for my gun. The 226 Sig 226 mag is compatible mostly, pretty much almost exactly for the G2C, G3C, but not exactly. So there's that. And there you go. I'm using a Different Guns magazine technically. So, but as far as the OEM mags, whether it's a full-size G3 mag in my G2C, G3C, or their 12-round mags they shipped with, boom. I've had very good luck with shooting a lot of steel case. I've not had it hurt the extractor. You know, I mean, for the most part, I've had pretty good luck. I've shot 38 special out of my Smith Model 10. Not a problem. Yeah, 38 special steel case out of a revolver, literally. I've had pretty good luck with it. So there you go. Look, is there a 100% rule? No. And I feel like I'm kind of rabbit holing a little bit, which the guys that are really into this, awesome. But some of you that has been nodding the whole time and you're like, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about already. I'm going to kind of shift gears a little bit, but that's my thing, guys. ARs can be a little touchy here and there. Practice with what you have, though. But I wouldn't be too worried, you know, but I want you to be comfortable with your decision. Because the last thing, look, if you're just like literally not going to fall asleep tonight because you're just dreading the thought of shooting that steel case, maybe swap it off and trade it with a buddy that's comfortable with it or likes it. Because, again, you should be happy, and I don't want you guys to stress out. But in general, you're going to be good to go with a lot of even AR-15s, okay? I don't know. Rockford Orton says, my barrels break all the time. But he said LOL. I know he's totally joking on that, obviously. His barrels broke all the time. Aluminum's an interesting concept. Someone asked, what do I think about aluminum cased ammo? You know, aluminum, not my favorite, but it's okay. I shoot aluminum. I've done some shooting tests with it. I'll do some more if you guys want to know. I don't know about the stuff from Winchester specifically, but I think I've got some aluminum. Do I still have that here, or did I shoot all of it? People all say, 280 use hoarding ammo again. He's hoarding all the ammo. I saw someone earlier. Someone I think called me a FUD in here. I'm hoarding the ammo. Come on, can't I have a decent looking? Can I have decent looking props? I'm trying to make this look like a gun studio, guys. Come on, man, cut me some slack here. 280U has 10 million rounds behind him. They're not all full. Yeah, I'm letting you guys in on this. Literally, this is just between me and you guys watching right now. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. And we're not going to tell the trolls which ones are full. Every week, guys, someone comes in the comments the next night. What's wrong with this guy? He's a hoarder. How dare him? How dare him try to give us advice on ammo or anything else when he's the reason for the ammo shortage? He has every piece of ammo that was imported in the USA from all countries, and it's all right behind him. And if this 280U character didn't exist, we'd all be getting ammo for free. There'd be so much. So I'm just sharing with you guys, just for that guy. Just put one more time, guys. Next time when he charges in tonight, because those people never watch this much of the video anyways. 280U has 100 million rounds of completely full boxes of ammo behind him. I am familiar with this stuff. This is the Independence. Aluminum. Aluminum's kind of a cool concept in a way. I'll tell you this, and it actually does add up. If you have a long mag, this stuff's lighter weight. You can actually notice the difference in how much your loadout weighs. If you're carrying, like, I don't know, 50, 60 rounds, say you had like a 15-round mag in the gun and 3 reloads on you, if you're getting near a box, 50-count box of this, you can just feel the difference. So that's a plus. So there we go. Band Talk, what's happening, dude? How you doing, man? Shout out to Band Talk and his channel. Dude, Band Talk, he's a good guy, and here's how I can prove he's a good guy. Do you guys want to know the proof? Now, I've recommended his show to a lot of you guys, and I like him. He's a good dude. If we lived a little closer, I'm sure we'd be hanging out. Here's how I can prove he's a good guy. Susan Wiki. She went after his channel. And the fact that she went after Band Talk's channel last week, that's how we can prove he's good. So don't take my word for it. Right, Band Talk? That's the way to know you finally made it. I'm bona fide. I finally made it in life. Susan Wiki has become part of the fan club. So there you go. Look, there's no free lunches, and guys, ammo's a little cheaper than brass. Is it more prone to maybe stick in a chamber? Sure. Okay. It has a different malleability, ductility, expansion rate. It's all going to be different than steel, no doubt. Is there an argument that it could create a teeny bit more friction? Sure. But I've shot it, and generally, I think it's okay. Band Talk. Go join the Band Talk fan club, guys. I don't know if he's allowed to post on YouTube again or not. But just go over there. Remember, giving Band Talk a sub or a thumbs up, that's the same as telling her. Band Talk is officially part of the Susan Wiki. I see EV3 Dale's giving him a... He says, outstanding, brother. Band Talk, you finally did something right. Band Talk, we didn't know about him. No, I've been shouting him out for months on here. But in case you didn't know, congratulations, sir. Come on, Susan. Stay away from my boy, Susan. Uh-oh. 15 more people are going to watch Band Talk's stream tonight. That's for sure. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, for those of you that already have that steel ammo, I encourage you to train with it, okay? Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness with it? Maybe, actually. If you have an AK, sure. I mean, 8M3. Speaking of my friend Mac Shot, I got a lot of good friends on this channel. He gave me a little goodie box the other day, which I'll show you guys some of the other stuff later. Here we go. Here's some Barnaul. This is made in Russia. This is banned from import. Hunting, self-defense. This is a 125 grain soft point. So they make different, defensive. Susan Wiki. They make different defensive rounds. Defensively, Susan. Defensively. Soft point. Obviously. So there's many things. So yeah, you might be using steel case in some of your guns. Like literally, if it hit the fan, if you're whatever, defending yourself. But other people might decide to go with brass. That's fine. But you can still use steel on the range. And then if you're an AR guy, really get in there with that star chamber brush. AK guys are like, what the heck's a star chamber brush? Okay, here's the thing. For all you AR guys out there, for the new people watching, they don't know I'm an AR guy. That's the funny thing. More of an AK guy. I can't lie to you guys. I like you guys too much. So for all you AR guys, I'd love to show you what an AR chamber brush looks like. Actually, I'd love to show you what any chamber brush looks like, but I primarily shoot AKs, so I don't have a chamber brush. Steel case, no chamber brush. Nyet, rifle is fine, right? Rifle is fine, they say. Nyet, rifle is fine. What's a chamber brush? That's how you know an AK guy. All the AR guys are like, I use this chamber brush, and it has to be made out of the most chamberous, brushiest brush that ever existed. And I have to go through. This is what an AR guy told me recently. I have to go through, and they not only have to do the ball test where they lubricate the balls and see how much lubricity. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's a special metal test. It's how they test the effectiveness of motor oil. They have to do that test for the lubricity of each strand on their chamber brush. Yeah. And then they literally have to go through and do a Rockwell hardness test of each and every one of the exactly 562 individual wires on said chamber brush for their AR. Because it can't have 0.9999999 MOA. It has to be 0.9999998 MOA. Now, here's the thing. If said chamber brush doesn't have exactly 562 strands, if it has 563 or 561, obviously they have to reject the chamber brush. And if they accidentally put it in first, they have to throw away their whole rifle. AK guy, what the heck's a chamber brush? So there you guys go. I'd love to show you a chamber brush, but I can't. Solely to Gloria with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Says, thank you for sharing your knowledge, bro. God bless. Well, God bless you too. And thanks for being here. And thanks for your encouragement. I remember I was reading through the comments, and well, you had quite a few encouraging comments yourself last week. And I do read them all, and I recognize some of you guys. And actually, I recognize pretty much all of you. Gizmo Rob TV with the super chat. Thanks, man. Let's see what he's going on here. Oh, G3C. That caught my attention. Okay, you can stay, Rob. I thought he was going to be the guy. Hold on a minute. My chamber brush of my AR. You guys can give me some crap AR, guys. It's okay. Gizmo Rob. He says, got my hands on a G3C last year. Found Steel Wolf. That's all it eats. I found one issue, and is that the top round must be brass because the steel case gets stuck on the feed ramp. Hey, you've gotten used to it. Maybe your feed ramp could use a little polishing. Maybe not. I don't want you to void your warranty. If you know how to do it, maybe not. Maybe talk to your gunsmith. Or it sounds like you found a good answer for yourself. So cool. I'm not surprised because I've had very good luck with my my steel case and my G series Taurus. Well, let's call them G series now because they're all awesome. There's so many different variants and types. So yeah, dude. As far as the there's many ways. Some people, when they load their gun, load it, they just kind of, pull back a little bit and let it go. Maybe if you just really get in there and just let it slingshot it a little harder, maybe not, but I'm sure you know what you're doing. No two guns are exactly alike, and that's why, one more time, practice with what you got and make do with what you got, but practice with whatever you're going to defend yourself with, because I've seen HSTs jam up on a gun that was shooting steel all day, and I love HST, and I've done videos telling you guys that. But every single gun isn't going to like all loadings. It's just the way it is. I mean, besides this channel, you're not going to like all YouTubers. Now, of course, you like this one, obviously, because, well, I think I'm the only gun tuber that has a Susan Wiki sign. So besides this channel, some channels are going to be for you, some aren't. Some rounds are going to be for this gun, but not the other one. And that's why you just buy more guns. Because I guarantee you guys this. If you buy enough types of ammo and buy enough guns. Now, this is something you guys can quote me on. If you buy enough different types of ammo and enough different types of guns, you will eventually find a gun that feeds every single type of ammo. And none will ever go to waste. And there you go. So here's what you tell your old lady. She's like, what? You're buying another? Hold on, honey. Hold on. Do you know what this is? This is banned. Could you imagine wasting this? Like, I had to buy the other gun because now one box of this ammo is worth more than the gun itself. And she'll totally understand. She won't get mad at you for spending like hundreds of dollars on a box of pre-ban ammo. This is years from now, guys. No, it's just a way to justify, honey. I had to spend $1,000 a box for my ammo. Of course I had to buy a $200 gun. Like, duh. Let me give you guys an analogy. When have you ever gotten in trouble when your wife's like, honey, why'd you spend 20 bucks at the auto parts store? Well, duh, I had to buy 5 quarts of oil and a $3 filter to keep our $7,000 engine from blowing up on our car. Well, duh, no one's ever got mad at that. So just buy a $2,000 box of ammo, and of course you can't complain when you have to buy a $300 gun. Don't say I didn't help you guys. This is all stuff you're going to use to your advantage. So if you buy enough guns, eventually you'll find one that'll shoot every type of ammo there is. I promise you on that. DLD After Dark, how you doing, man? What's happening? He says, what? Bro, I've been shooting ARs and AKs for nearly 2 decades, and I beat up my ARs like I do my AKs. I barely clean them. I guess because I was an original AK guy that turned AR. Where are we going to put him on here? Never cleaned his AR. It's never jammed. No, he's an AK guy. I ain't buying it for a second. You're an AK guy. And I mean that as a compliment. Trust me. And here's what I've realized, guys. And this happens to me a lot. But I'm going to give you guys a second chance. I'm going to give you guys a second chance to let me redeem myself, okay? So, DLD After Dark. I see you over there trying to give me crap. Oh, and look, DLD comes in there. He's an AK guy. I don't care what he says. I've seen some of his AKs. And then look who's in here. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Someone comes in here. Flying Rich, what's happening, man? How you doing? How's your family doing, man? Same thing. We got a lot of good people lately, guys. And, man, a lot of stuff that sucks. A lot of death, quite frankly. A lot of you guys that are really, really sick. And, look, hopefully this stream's just a way to get your mind off of it. But at the same time, not to try to get it back down to a somber tone, but Rich and his family, they've been going through some hard times and kind of in a bad way. And that's just a great thing. You know, I can sit there and have a whole list of people to pray to. It still doesn't even come close to filling him up. So you, Rockford, many, many other people I've been keeping in my prayers. And I hope your family's doing okay, Rich. I really do. I know you've been kind of, you'll be all right. Rich will be all right, guys. I promise you he will be, but hope you're doing good, dude. But here's the problem, Rich. Now, I sincerely meant everything I said, but I ain't going to cut you too much slack. DLD After Dark comes in here. Sideways as heck. He's trying to say, I'm an AK guy, but I'm an AR guy, but I don't. You're an AK guy at heart. Just face it. Just come back to reality, DLD. It's okay. It's okay. And I think Rich put him up to coming in here all sarcastic. I really do. So here's the thing, guys. I didn't intentionally lie to you. I said I was going to show you a way to actually save money by not spending any money on ammo at all. And I barely flashed them at the end of last stream, but I ran out of time, and I've ran out of time again tonight. But you guys can still come back for a second chance, because tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be over on Locals. I don't normally stream on YouTube on Saturdays. Last week I did a local stream after the fact, right? And it was a lot of fun, but some of you guys were honest with me and you said, dude, we loved it, but we were a little bit tired. You know, some of you guys get up at 5 in the morning. Everybody can't be a night owl like 2AE to you. More like Donald Trump. He doesn't sleep, right? Anyways, some of you guys sleep, and that's very smart. DLD After Dark doesn't sleep. He'll be streaming till 3 in the morning Saturday night, won't you? And I don't want to cut into your stream, but I think you start a little later. I hope I'm right on that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stream Saturday. I'm going to do 9 p.m. It will not go a minute over 10 because Locals has a 1 hour stream limit, which is awesome. And I'm super lucky that they're letting me stream over there for an hour. So here's what I'm going to do one more time. I think I'm going to do it. What do you think, Mateo? I think just to be nice, I'm going to, one more time. Look, it's a supporter driven site, guys. Literally, the support from you all that are supporters, like $3 a month, whatever, that's actually what keeps Locals going. It sends me a tip. The percentage they take, that's what pays for their servers. There's no ads over there. There's no stealing your data. None of that. And there's no free lunch. So that's why ideally, you know, support a little bit, not just to support me. I'm not saying that, but just to keep the platform alive because I really, really like it a lot. So, but I'm going to make it available again for all of the free members. So if you guys like what you see, come on over there tomorrow, check it out, give it a little test drive. It'll give you guys about 22 hours to go in there and just see what you're thinking. Now, people that are supporters also are creating their own content over there. So it's not just my stuff. You guys are going to see like posts, literally that article I showed you guys earlier about the Ukraine ammo debacle, for lack of a better word. The Ukraine ammo situation, as grim as it is, I got that from the 2A EDU Locals page. So just go over to Locals. There's a link down in the description of this video, or just go to Locals and type in 2A EDU, just like it's spelled on here. You'll find me. And you can sign up totally for free. Support if you want. And I'm going to make the stream available for all the members. So I'm not going to, put it behind the paywall. But you do have to sign up for an account there. And that's a good thing. And I've talked about it before, and I'll explain it again if you guys are wondering why. But that's actually a really good thing that you have to sign up over there. It helps our relationship with Susan. Helps us get along with her a lot better that way. That's the way Susan likes it, and that's the way I like it. So there you guys go. So I'm going to stream tomorrow over on Locals, 9 p.m. It'll probably be like 1 minute less than an hour or so. And I am going to show you guys this stuff right here, which I promise you I wanted to do tonight. It's just, I don't know, I get hanging out with you guys, and it's like, this is how it'd be in real life. We'd just be talking and having some coffee or some iced tea in this case. Shout out to Chuck R. I've got my iced tea here. I want to show you guys this stuff from Manus because I had them send this to me because I think it'll like really, really help you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually like go in more in depth on this stuff. And do you guys want to talk about that over there? So yeah. And here's the cool thing here. I can show you the actual devices over there. I could take the Armalite and put that Blackbeard right in there. And we could probably do a little bit of testing here, couldn't we? So I think I'll go over there and kind of do that just because I'm kind of running out of time here. And I started kind of late tonight and it's 11:30. So I'm just going to take one last look at the chat. See what you guys are up to. I'm going to miss 99% of it, guys. You just got me outnumbered like way too much. And yeah, but I read them all. And like I said, I get a lot of encouragement. I really, really do. Someone's wanting to take a look at the Mana stuff. I'll tell you guys real quick what it is. They're two separate devices that make it where you can do much. Not all. There's no such thing as a total free lunch in life. But once we get past that, you can experience like shooting whole drills. Like you can set yourself up with drills, have a complete competition, either in your backyard or in your basement or your rec room or your bedroom. And you can do many, many things with these tools, either individually or combined together, and save yourself like a ton of money on ammo and still practice. And that's really important. So I thought that, well, I thought it's something that might be able to help you guys out. I'll review it, give you my honest opinion. That way, if you're deciding like, man, is it worth it or not? If I can only afford to buy one of these products, which one would it be? I don't know what you guys are wondering, but I'll try to help you guys. And Manus was nice enough to send them to me so I can be a guinea pig and just let you guys know. I don't know. And I guess I'm going to have to become more of an AR guy because the Blackbeard device works in the Armalite system. So there you go. So after all the ripping out of the AR guys I did, I waited till the end because AR guys are lightweights and they've already gone to bed by now. The AK guys, you guys are just, you're on like your 14th beer, which is like just getting started and you're ready to go. I get it. So now that the AR guys have gone to sleep, I'm going to admit to them after I roasted them all night, I'm going to become more of an AR guy with some of these Manus products. But that's okay Because with the AK, we don't need to shoot it. It just shoots itself. So we'll focus on the AR a little bit more. Alaska Andy, enjoy your live streams. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the encouragement. I do. Linda has put in a link here in the chat. It is an affiliate link. If you already know you're going to buy one by clicking on my link, it does help the channel. I'm not going to tell you whether you should buy one or not ever. And I can't really give you a recommendation yet just because I haven't done my reviews. But if you just want to have that and put it in your files, I know some of you guys do that. You keep your bookmarks. And if you wanted it anyways and it makes you feel good to help the channel, that is an affiliate link for Manus. I'm not telling you to buy one because I still need to do my reviews. But I'm pretty optimistic. Sounds like a fun way to save some money. And a lot of people, you know, that are literally out there that can't get to the range. So, yeah. What did somebody say? This AR guy is here. What's happening, Alan? How you doing, man? I think Alan gets my sense of humor. Maybe he does. I hope he does. Look at all the AR guys chiming in still here. Come on, man. KMI building. Oh, one AR guy just left. He'll be back next week. Trust me. He'll be back. We need a 22 LR conversion kit for the AK. I'll tell you something, Rob. They did make one, and I have it. They do, actually, and it was a complete disaster. Does anyone else want to know more about that? That might be something for me to do on locals. That's something I'm going to do on locals. What's happening, John Crump? Wait a minute. DLD comes after here, out here. Sarcastic as heck about his AKs and ARs, and then there's Flying Rich. I think John Crump was behind all this. Huh. It's your lucky day, Flying Rich. I just cut you some slack. Just as I blamed all of this on Flying Rich, now I get to blame John Crump. I hope Rich is still watching to hear me say that. MaxShot62 with the super chat and a channel member. Thanks for being so generous, dude. I appreciate you. He says, no matter what any of the trolls say, we still love you, Patriot. Well, thanks a lot, dude. I didn't see any trolls tonight. Did you guys? Everyone I saw in here was like literally awesome. Like, I don't know, out of the corner of my eye, I read at least probably 1% of the chat, and it was like 100% awesome. So I don't think we had any trolls tonight, Max Shot, did we? What do you think, Curtis Reynolds? Did we have any trolls tonight? Curtis Reynolds super chat literally sits up there all night. I have no idea why I'm so lucky to get to hang out with you guys, but I had a lot of fun, and the AR guys need to go to bed. So I'm going to go over on locals actually right now and maybe make a little post and kind of do some hanging out, check my comments over there, because I've been having a lot of fun over there lately, guys. And there's some exclusive content. Again, I'm not taking anything away from you guys that just strictly watch on YouTube. I'm simply putting up things there that you would never be able to see here because Susan and crew would come in and say, yeah, channel is not fine. So that's the deal. And you guys will see. You should come over because I'm going to do one more just as a courtesy. You guys, you know, you don't have to be a supporter to watch it this next Saturday. But you guys might like it because you're going to see me doing stuff in those streams that I couldn't even dream of doing here. So go check it out. You guys have 24 hours to give it a test drive. Go check out the post by Pillbox Bunkers over there. We got, I think Mike McClune's over there, aren't you, Mike? Some of you guys switch your names up, so it gets me all confused. You know what I'm saying? Davey85, will you look up Linda and give her a message? Davey85, send an email to Linda at 2aedupperks@gmail.com. Did you already do that, Linda? So check that out. She's going to throw that email in there. I was looking for you, Davey. Send her an email real quick tonight if you would. No, you're not in trouble. Just send her an email. I've been looking for you all week. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you guys. Tons and tons of good chat. And if I start reading it, I'll be here for another 2 hours reading chat. So shout out to Randy Adams 03. He's definitely over there on locals hanging out, supporting the channel here on YouTube. Mike McClune, as always. What's happening, Mike? How you doing, man? On vacation next week. We got Ron Wayne. Look, guys, Ron Wayne's like 2 for 2 on winning the gauze over there because I'm giving stuff away over there too. Who else have we got? I'm just giving some of you guys a shout out. Mateo's over there putting great content up. Pillbox Bunker, of course. Denny's Plant-Based Journey. What's happening, man? How you doing? Matt's doing a little drinking, but he's doing good, it looks like, being nice. So awesome. A-Dubs, what's happening, man? A-Dubs is over there hanging out on the Facebook group. I don't like Facebook too much, but it's a cool place. I like locals more, though, because I'm kind of getting tired of big tech. Support 2A all the time. Awesome. I appreciate it. Crypto something. Crypto. How's it going, Crypto? Nice to see you. Maverick, man. What's happening, Maverick? Sully, have a good night. I'm just saying bye to you guys, if you don't mind, real quick. Sam, what's happening? Hey. There we go. I'm an AR guy. So Vertigenius says, I'm an AR guy and I'm at least 18 beers deep. There you go, man. Shout out to the AR guys. Hey. AR versus AK. Quickest way to make everybody mad, but I don't think so. We are not talking. Just you are 2A. 2A are putting down AR people like them. Come on, man. Dude, you figure me out, Carbon Spider. I'm going to talk smack to all of you guys because I just simply can't hear you. You caught me. I'm an evil person. And just for that, I'm getting off this stream tonight. No, I'm getting off because it's almost midnight. Franklin Lopez, what's happening, dude? Nice to see you at the last second. What's happening, man? Nice to see you. I believe that's Rick, or it's Rick's dog watching. Threaded for my pleasure. What's up, man? Bill Alexander, he's over there on Locals hanging out. Nulty 420, have a good Labor Day weekend. Jonathan James, longtime viewer of the channel. Waiting on a sticker. Did you send an email to the proper address? Linda had posted it in there. Yeah. Lori DeVries, there she is. Nice to see you, Lori. And the most lovely and prettiest one of all. So I'm going to leave it on that note. Linda 2A girl. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching and have a good one.